Hello friends, today is the day when I'm taking the famous Bernina Express in Switzerland through Alps from Zurich to Tirano in Italy, and this is how the train looks, and I can show you. I'm starting in Zurich, then the next stop is Chur. It's actually pronounced Chur, not Chur, which I found out only today. Then St Moritz, and then the last stop is Tirano in Italy, but although I will not be going all the way to Italy, we entered in tunnel by the way, I won't go all the way to Tirano today. I will jump out of the train in Campocologno, which is the very last stop between the Swiss-Italian border, still in Switzerland. And the reason being, it will be just a cheaper hostel there than in Tirano. And then tomorrow I will be continuing alongside Lake Como to Milano in Italy. So this will be very nice, I think. I expect it so, to be a very nice train ride, because it is probably one of the most scenic train rides in Europe. I actually didn't expect us to go into a tunnel just when I started to explain you what I'm doing, but well, you see, these things happen. So this train ride is very good because it's very long. Also, it takes 6 hours, 6 hours and 1 minute. Here, 6 Stunden 1 Minute. But the biggest and most amazing thing about it is that we will be crossing Alps through very small, slow, windy train tracks, sometimes even with a circular, when the train tracks go into the whole circle to climb up the hill. Well, we can see something outside again. This lake, which we are going alongside, I think we'll be able to see it in a moment. Yeah, here. This one, you see it. This lake is called Walensee, and it is a lake between Zurich and Sargans, don't know how to pronounce it, in Switzerland. Basically, all today's ride will be in Switzerland, so I don't need to say it again and again. It's all Switzerland today, and I'll try to make some glimpses also for you, so you can enjoy how is this train ride like. Might be interesting, I think. Might be amazing. At the moment we are not high in the mountains, but you see already it's a lake, but there's already good amount of mountains all around us. But further it will be even more. Good, I'll keep you updated, and we'll see what kind of video we can make out of it for you to enjoy, friends. See you in a moment. So we just arrived in Chur, that was the train which I came out of, and this is the train which I got into. This one goes to St Moritz. It was actually very easy to find it, and you see, it's funny. One train arrives in 13:52, and then we leave with the next train in 13:58. So it's only 6 minutes for changing trains. And if you are from the most other countries in the world, you'll probably think like me that it's impossible, it's risky, you can miss. The train can be late and you don't get your connecting train. And in 6-hour journey it's easy for a train to be 6 minutes late. Haha, not in Switzerland. Everything arrives exactly on the minute. Exactly. It's no wonder that Swiss people are the best for making watches and clocks. They like keeping time, and they're very nice at that. It's a nice change, I would say, to be in this kind of country where everything works and everything is on time. So 6 minutes for changing long distance trains is perfectly okay. You will never miss them anyway, because they arrive on the minute, just on the minute. So, this is my next train. I will be finding some space where I can sit, and we'll enjoy our journey, the next leg of our journey. We are leaving Chur at the moment. See you in a moment.
Nächster Halt, Tiefenkastel. Next stop, Tiefenkastel. A 65-meter-high Landwasser viaduct. It is one of the most impressive constructions on the line, as it curves elegantly above the valley below before entering a tunnel carved into a sheer rock face. Moritz, the final station of the UNESCO World Heritage section of the Albula line, and at the same time, it's the starting point of the Bernina line of the Rhaetian Railway.
We are now arriving in St Moritz, and this will be the second place where I will change the trains. And now I will have, instead of 6 minutes, I will have a lot, what it will be, 14 minutes time for changing my trains. Let's see. I saw that there was a train on that platform behind, and you see the clock. It's exactly 4 o'clock. That's the time when the train should have been arriving, and that's when it arrives. No questions. Swiss time. Nice. So let's see if we can find a platform. So it is... I actually have it on this one as well, platform number 6. I usually tend to double check these things, but I guess in this country it should be pretty much... Of course it is the same. I can't imagine that here they would make some confusion. If it is 6, it is 6. Nice. Now it looks like there I see arrow for glass 6. Here they say binary 6. It's Italian. Although I think in Italian they were saying binario. Maybe this is forgot the name of that language, Romanish? Don't remember what's the name. There is a small language spoken by very few people rurally in this part of Switzerland, which is part of Romance language group, but it's spoken nowhere else. Maybe that's the language. There was a train to Chur, back to Chur. And by the way, these tracks are narrow gauge tracks. That's why when I was changing the last time, I was changing from the wide gauge tracks, the standard gauge tracks, to these narrow ones, because that's the only thing with which you can get here. The narrow. Oh, and there's a beautiful lake. I'll show you that one as well. I see already there is Tirano, Bernina Express, that's mine. 14 minutes past. Now you can enjoy a view a little bit before it's too late and I miss my train. Let's board it before it's too late. I always get scared when I see the doors closing. Because in countries where I usually have been taking train, when you see the door closing, it means it's too late. But here it happens automatically, you open and close it. So this is Zweite Klasse, second class, that's me. And by the way, I probably should have used this moment to tell you about prices of these tickets. It's funny. If you would buy a ticket in Zurich train station, here you see Bernina Express, if I pronounce it correctly. There's some Holdrätliche Bahn wagons, coaches, I don't know how to call them. About the train, if you about prices, if you buy the ticket in Zurich or just in Switzerland, Swiss railway webpage, it would be around 90 euros, 90 from Zurich to Tirano, Bernina Express. But then I found something which I want to share with you because that's definitely worth it. In Deutsche Bahn, in German railway website, you can buy, forgot what was the name, Super Sparpreis, something, some extra saver ticket basically, and you can buy, if you buy beforehand, let's say 2 weeks before at least, I think, you can buy many tickets for longer distances for 27 euros and something cents. And including, you can buy ticket from Singen in Germany. That's the last stop in Germany before going to Zurich. From Singen to Tirano, from Deutsche Bahn. And then it costs, the same ticket costs not 90 euros, as if I were buying here in Switzerland, but it costs 27 euros and these something cents. And the only trick is that I bought ticket from Singen via Zurich, Chur, St Moritz and Tirano, but I don't use the first leg of the route because I was not in Singen. So the ticket says Singen to Zurich, Zurich to Chur, Chur to St Moritz, St Moritz to Tirano. And you just don't use the first leg, and nobody, it's perfectly legal, and nobody bothers, nobody cares, nobody knows have you been in that first train or not. And I used the ticket from Zurich onwards, and it cost me 27 euros instead of 90 euros. So I can definitely suggest you having the same. Let's walk in, because it's definitely worth it. I don't have to tell you the difference between 90 euros and 27 euros color. So this is how it looks inside. Nice. Definitely nice. They have a map here as well. You see those windows? Cool. So let's continue our journey.
Sino ai 420 Medina, the Bernina Express uses the actual Bernina line, which, unlike the rest of the Rhetian railway network, operates on 1000-volt direct current. Since its inauguration in 1910, it has been in continuous operation as the only Swiss railway line crossing over the top of the Alps and descending from the glaciers of the Bernina Pass at 2,253 meters down to the 429 meters above sea level in Tirano.
That one behind those trees actually are an actual glacier. Wow. We were just waiting to pass that other train on the opposite direction because it's a single track. Now it's again a single track, and there was a small place where they can exchange the opposite driving trains. It looks like we are getting above the tree line. There still are some small trees. That's the cable car to Bernina Diavolezza, up there on top of those mountains. That's another form of transport here in the Alps. This is crazy. We are in the middle of September and there is still snow on those mountains. So it means that even during the summer it never melted completely.
Folgt die Staumauer des Lago Bianco. Dieser Stausee verdankt seine grünlich-weiße Farbe dem abfließenden Gletscherwasser. Die Abflüsse von Leitbietschen und Leinae wenden sich nordwärts. Ihr Wasser fließt durch den Inn, die Donau und die Schwarze Meer. Anders der Abfluss des Lago Bianco. Er nimmt seinen Weg südwärts durch den Poschiavino, abwärts in den Po und in das Adriatische Meer. Die gelbe Tafel auf der rechten. The lake's pale greenish color is caused by water flowing in from the glacier. The water from Leitbietschen and Leinae flow northwards. It flows into the Inn and the Danube, and finally to the Black Sea. The waters of Lago Bianco, however, flow southwards into the Poschiavino, the Adda, and the Po, towards the Adriatic coast. A yellow notice board on the right-hand side of the train, about 20 meters from the line and level with the dam, marks the exact point of the watershed, the dividing mark for draining water. Shortly after the dividing point for the water comes the dividing point for languages. To the north, in Engadine, Romansh is the official language. To the south, in the valley di Poschiavino, it is Italian. The station Ospizio Bernina is the Eurasian Railway's highest, standing at 2,253 meters above sea level.
So this is the watershed. We are obviously on the very top. We were climbing up all the time. Now we'll be going down all the time. That's the highest point of our trip. Crazy. No trees growing here. It's too high altitude for the trees to grow.
Il volume complessivo del bacino è di 18 milioni di metri cubi di acqua. Ospizio Bernina ist mit 2253 Meter der höchstgelegene Bahnhof der Rätischen Bahn. Auf der anderen Seite des Lago Bianco sehen Sie den Cambrena-Gletscher und den 3604 Meter hohen Piz Cambrena. Gegen Schneeverwehungen und Lawinen mussten diverse Galerien gebaut werden. From now on, the train is gradually losing height with a gradient of 7 meters per 100. The many galleries were built as protection against avalanches and snowdrifts. Raggiungeremo lo spettacolare punto panoramico di Alpe Grün a 2091 metri. Sulla sua destra, shortly after Grün Station, the track makes an elegant half circle. If the weather is clear, you will get a marvelous view of the entire Poschiavo Valley, and far down below, you can see the water of Lake Poschiavo glittering in the sunshine. Behind the valley, you can see the distant contours of the Bergamo Alps. Prossima fermata Alpe Grün. Nächster Halt Alpe Grün. Next stop Alpgrün.
We are again low enough for trees to grow. You can see higher up there are no trees. We were that high before. Now we are descending and again starting to see those conifer trees. We were passing the same place 3 stories higher before. When we were serpentining down. And it's interesting that train makes a loop in the tunnel within the mountain and comes up in the opposite direction, but one level lower. And soon we will be quite low here. Before we were very high up, but on the same slope. We'll be there in a moment. You see we are turning. It's crazy how this train goes zigzagging down. And that's the house which we saw before. Up there was the previous train station. And that's the tunnel we just came out. And there are 3 more loops we just came down on or through. That's against avalanches, I think. Another train passing us. And now it's a proper forest already with good sized trees, so we are low enough again. Down there is the same railway line. We will be making again one turn in the tunnel inside of the mountain, and we'll come out on the opposite direction. We'll go on the other side of the train because that's what I guess will be the outside of the mountain now. We're turning. It's a huge loop inside of the mountain. Now we're coming out, and yes, this side is out now. We're going opposite direction on the same slope further down. And these galleries above us are against the avalanches, so that snow leaves us alone in the winter.
Unmittelbar nach der Station Cavalia befinden sich Gletschermühlen, welche bequem zu Fuß erreichbar sind. Immediately after Cavalia station, there are glacial potholes which can easily be reached on foot.
I'm amazed how steep these trains can climb. They said in the steepest places the railroad is 7% gradient, which means 7 meters of height on each 100 meters of distance. That's crazy. I thought railways always use promilles for calculating these gradients, which would be parts of 1000 instead of parts of 100, which is percent. But here they climb 7%. How is that possible? Especially in the winter, which takes most of their year probably. Crazy. There in the distance we can see where we will be going back. We'll make a turn and we'll come back on the other side of the valley.
Here, the Bernina Express sometimes resembles a tram. In San Antonio and later on in La Presa, the track runs down the middle of the street.
Dopo la famosa località turistica di Le Prese, costeggiamo le rive del lago di Poschiavo, di 2,5 km di lunghezza e di 1,5 km di larghezza. È dal 1908 che il nuovo...
few minutes, we will be crossing the famous circular viaduct in Bruzio. This construction again makes a loop to lose or gain height, like the spiral tunnels after Verdun. The igloo-like stone mounds below were once used for storing wine and cheese.
And this will be the famous circle-type viaduct of Bruzio. You can see it goes the full circle to be able to descend so steeply. It goes from up there, all around here, and underneath itself. So let's see how we make that circle. There will be down there in a moment. And that's the small town of Bruzio. Now you can see the height that we were able to gain in zero space because of that circle. You see up there where we just were, and now we are down here. If the train would go straight, it would be too steep. And there is the viaduct. We have come back to the same place where we just were, up there. And we continue looping down the valley. We are now arriving in Campocologno, and that's where I will go out of this train. I won't go to Tirano, even though I have a ticket to Tirano. This is how we open the door. Good. This is the train we took. And this is the Campocologno station. We didn't use all of the ticket. I didn't use all of the ticket because I wasn't sure. I was trying to buy it first from Singen in Germany through Zurich to Campocologno, to here. Here it goes. But I couldn't find the right connections, and I thought maybe it's because they don't sell it to this station, but I'm not sure why. Maybe I just didn't know how to find it. But anyway, I was able to find the ticket from Singen to Tirano. So I thought, what's the problem if I come out one station earlier? And I will stay in Campocologno overnight. In this small village I found the cheapest place to stay. A lot cheaper than on the Italian side. And tomorrow I will just walk across the border to Italy, to Tirano, to the next station and we'll continue in Italy towards Milano. This is the Italian speaking part of Switzerland. It's an interesting country. It's 2/3 speaks German, then the western and southwestern part speaks French, and south and southeastern part speaks Italian, and this is where they speak Italian. So that was my train ride of Bernina Express. I would say it was definitely worth it, especially even more since I found how to buy a ticket for 27 euros instead of 90 euros. I definitely recommend you do the same. You saw it, and I can tell you for sure the camera doesn't do justice for all the heights and breadths of the sights. It's amazing. Definitely worth it. So if you have an opportunity, come down and visit this place. This is amazing train ride. No wonder that they call it one of the most scenic, or if not the most scenic train ride in Europe. Amazing. So I'll sign off now. That's all done. Happy travels, happy life to all of you friends. Till next time.